And then there's those insurgents on the ground and the grassroots that are funded by who knows what. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel with me Zeva. I'm going to be making a reaction video to a documentary, an upcoming documentary on Netflix in just a few days called Brave Blue World. Yep, Brave Blue World. A bit of a tongue twister there. When I first heard about this was from a friend of mine, and I was like, how come I've never really heard about this documentary before? Compared to another documentary that I have reacted on my channel just a few videos back, the publication is just so different. This one had less views across its social media, whether it's on Instagram, whether it's on YouTube. And I'm sure that the exposure to their website is also not as much. I have no idea why. I'm not sure what happened in this publication, its PR team and everything, but I'm here to show my audience, so at least, even though my audience is not that large, but at least those who watch this video will know about it and will look for it on Netflix in just a few days, because I am here to support anybody out there who are also on their journey in spreading sustainability awareness, environmental issues, because we need more people to spread the word out there about how crucial this is. Okay, I'm gonna press play.
Imagine if tomorrow we cured cancer and in 100 years there were still 1 million kids dying of cancer. It would be unthinkable. But that's the situation we find ourselves in with water.
By 2025, 1.8 billion people will be living in water-stressed regions.
We are reaching a perfect storm in terms of water.
By the way, about perfect storm in terms of water, I'm going to be explaining about the water conflict situation, the water crisis issue, right after this reaction video. So don't go anywhere and stay tuned.
The reason you need to care about the water crisis is because it's going to directly affect you and your family. We're on the brink of being hopeless, but we're not there yet.
We break down the barriers between people and safe water and sanitation.
We envision a day when everybody has access to clean water and sanitation, and we envision that in our lifetime.
People who are really struggling with drought or deteriorating water quality, those are the people on the edges and the fringes that are really innovating.
We just came from a very dry season, so this was the only source of drinking water for these children.
The water we have today is the water we've always had. We use it and then we throw it away. Nature doesn't do that.
Everything that you need to stay alive except carbon is in your waste. It's in your feces, in your urine, and in the breath that comes out of you.
Toilet to tank is really what we're doing here. It was always my dream. I can take my wastewater, put it in my car, and drive off into the sunshine.
It breaks my heart that we have the solutions and we can't get them out fast enough.
This can happen in our lifetime. This has to happen in our lifetime, or we are looking at a very different world for our children.
How lucky are we that we're the ones who get to solve this? In 100 years, people are going to wish they were alive and they could solve a problem this big.
Interesting. Okay, October 21st on Netflix. Wow, that was short and sweet. It's great to know, yeah, it's really good to know that there are initiatives out there that tries to preserve water and not exacerbate like the water crisis situation. But I think I also want to share with you all a bit about the water crisis issue. That's why we need a lot of cooperation among many people to deal with the water crisis. I'm going to touch on that a bit later, but I want to just show you the website of this trailer. Let's just check it out just to see where they're at. braveblue.world. It's really interesting. Like, I would expect that. I know Matt Damon might not be as phenomenal as David Attenborough, but him, then there's Jaden Smith as well. And there are a few celebrity icons that have been promoting, that are on the trailer of this documentary. I would expect that the engagement will be much more bigger. This is something that I really feel for, because I know what it feels like being an underdog and then you're explaining all these issues to the public, but it's not something that gains a lot of traction from the public. You know, not everybody is into thinking about these issues. That's just the reality of it. So anyway, this is the website, Brave Blue World. It's a great film and we all need to see it, and every school and every college needs to see it. Liam Neeson, yeah, Liam Neeson as well. Was he in the trailer? I didn't notice that. Okay. Our goal, 1 million trailer views, help us get there. Oh, bless them. That makes me feel so sad because their initial trailer, which was 11 months ago, it only gained 11k views. As somebody who is on YouTube as a content creator who talks about environmental issues that have like 700 subscribers, not even a 1k subscriber yet for over a year now, I feel them. I know how hard it is to get views. It's just so hard to push something like this forward, and I just hope that Brave Blue World, when the premiere of Netflix is on, it will become viral. Fingers crossed, you guys. Like, that makes me feel so sad, especially reading that on their website. Okay, down here, our mission, you can read their mission there. And then here, we envision a day when everybody has access to clean water and sanitation, and we envision that in our lifetime. Matt Damon, actor and co-founder of water.org. Everybody, please support this film, watch the trailer, share on your social media, and also get involved. Like, how can we get involved? Let us click here. Okay, 6 ways to get involved. Donate to charitable water organizations that are changing the future of water for millions. You can donate through this website. Engage on social media. Host a screening for our documentary. Okay, well, I'm making this a reaction video, so I'm trying to help spread the word out there and learn more about water. Brave Blue World Book Club. Okay, cool. Understanding water scarcity and SDGs. Okay, there's a link to that. Brave Blue World Lighthouse Awards. Okay, so they're holding a Lighthouse Awards for people who are pioneers and visionaries within the water section. Cool, something to up as well on our social media, and you can contact them if you have anyone who is worth the mention. Okay, now we have seen all of that. Let me just explain to you about the water crisis, and I am serious. I'm dead serious about this. Please listen up. Not many people talk about this, and I think it needs to be mentioned. Okay, why do we need to care about water issues? Why do we need to take water scarcity seriously? Because water scarcity could actually create conflict. There has been many research-based predictions, usually qualitative research, that water scarcity could lead to World War III. I'm dead serious. This is actually an old theory, by the way. I learned about this back in 2007. Imagine when countries are struggling over water resources. Imagine when there are many privatization over water, controlling the last sources of water. Many people nowadays overlook the fact that a lot of our water pollution is caused by mega agriculture and also industries. And oftentimes they are toxic. So can you imagine this? After industries and businesses, certain industries and certain businesses pollute our waters, other businesses and other industries charge us to get access to that water. Clean water, a basic right that is put a tag on it, a price tag on it, that could increase in price. Influential corporations and also state-owned agencies, they have put a price tag on water. They have created a water market. Long ago, it wasn't the case. There is no mass privatization of water, not in the scale that it is nowadays anyway. Some may argue that privatization is also about the disciplinary of the public, so the disciplining of the use of water, so we won't overuse water. But in actuality, it's actually oftentimes more about profits and control. Many people out there don't have access to clean water, or they are struggling to gain access, or they are just obliging to the system and paying the price tag to get access to clean water because there's no other way. All of these things are a source to conflict. More on this later. In 2015, just 5 years ago, NASA's satellite data showed that 21 of the world's largest 37 aquifers are water stressed, severely water stressed. And this is caused by rising human population and also agriculture businesses, for example, from the meat industry, from the vegetables industry, and also the industries at large. There are various efforts and initiatives worldwide to deal with this depleting of the aquifers that the world has, and I'm sure that this documentary will show these initiatives and efforts to deal with this issue. But I also want to underline that the fact is there are a lot of competition to secure deals. For example, there are a lot of community efforts, usually cooperating with NGOs or INGOs. Community-based water harvesting and also integrated water management based on hydromorphology. Then there's government efforts, for example, through policy making and also mega infrastructure projects, usually working together with private sector or the corporate sector, which frankly frequently displays in many countries a more contractor-driven democracy compared to a people-driven democracy. So the more community-based approaches aren't really that supported when in comparison to contractor-based partnerships, for example, with the corporate sector or state-owned agencies as preferred. And then there's the corporates with their technological innovations and also their infrastructure projects that could be in cooperation with governments, for example, in the form of public-private partnerships or PPPs, or they're implemented on their own. Now, even though there are these frictions among these stakeholders, I still think that partnerships among them, cross-sector, is very important. However, public interest or community interest ideally should be the main goal and also the main core interest of it all, which is frequently not the case. There's a lot of small water conflicts here and there, and it's always those with the least amount of say in things are the most disempowered. Simply put, it's something to think about. So partnerships is super important, especially cross-sectoral, but what kind of partnerships? Is it fair? Water scarcity is a serious issue because water is a source of drinking water, it's a source of sanitation, it's a source of hygiene. Whole communities could be displaced because of water scarcity, and this happens. Us humans can't properly function without water, especially access to clean water. Especially nowadays with increasing frequency of floods, of droughts, whether it's because of climate change or infrastructure problems. This affects as well to the availability of clean water. And it could even force people to migrate to search for better livelihoods and also to search for safer areas to live in. Back again about the World War III possibility. If we don't deal with this water crisis seriously, World War III could be around the corner. I mean, there are many triggers for that, but one of them could be because of the water crisis. We just don't know when. Now, is this far-fetched? It's not. Let's look at one country, Syria. The Syria we see on TV today is not what Syria looked like back in the day. Syria was rich in agriculture and some natural resources, but then they experienced drought. Many factors to this drought that happened in Syria. It was not only because of climate change, but it was also because of an issue with a neighboring country who built a dam in Syria. But there are also many other issues. It created water scarcity, then there's tensions, then there's forced migrations, then there's further tensions, then various conflicts appeared because of mismatched policies by the central government of Syria, and then there's those insurgents on the ground and the grassroots that are funded by who knows what. So a domestic conflict is just inevitable, and then it turned into a regional conflict, and many other superpowers then involve themselves in the situation, and it's just a cluster of conflicts and problems. If something regionally can happen, something internationally can also happen if we're not careful. So hopefully, based on that simplified explanation from me, you have a better idea about the severity of the water crisis issue and how important it is for all of us. We should celebrate innovations, we should celebrate progress in this water sector, but we also have to remember and ensure that it is for the good of everybody, no matter their background. It's just so tiring to see things politicized so much. It is just so tiring seeing many things being taken advantage of so often. Anyway, so please don't forget to watch this documentary, Brave Blue World, coming to Netflix and hopefully in other platforms as well. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.